I thought it was really strange that I was in this new city and there was a ton of people clearly into this stuff, but no one was talking to each other. And this was, 2014, and so I think Tinder had just gone out on college campuses at this point in time. So when you look at the dating app or dating space, it was really like Match and OkCupid and eHarmony pretty much. And I was single at the time and I was on Match, and I thought it was really, really creepy and hard to find people who I knew I was just gonna like vibe with, and I could count on having a great conversation with them, whether or not it led to something serious. It was eye-opening for me how hard that was. And so that, coupled with my experience in trying to meet people in the community, I just had this idea to start an events company called Yoga Dates, and we did yoga events for singles. So I would host these events, and it was just kind of like me hustling, like in my apartment. I didn't really know what it was going to turn into, but I created a meetup group, and I woke up the next day, and there were hundreds of people in it. And it was half men, half women. And I was like, oh, I might have something here. Okay. And so I was like, I should get a logo. And went on Elance and got a logo. And then traded a Thai massage for a WordPress site. And so this is like the ultimate MVP. And I didn't even know what that stuff meant back then. And I ran this events company for about a year and a half. We did things like yoga speed dating and vinyasa and vino. And we would do like community events and screen movies and have couples events and have women's only events that were like all about like female empowerment, and it was awesome, and all the events would always sell out, and I just got so much good feedback. So that was my first foray into the dating scene, and then my customers that came to the events, and I would only do these like once a month or once every 6 weeks because it took a lot of effort to make this stuff happen. And my customers would come up and they would complain about their dating experiences and how horrible they were, and that this was like the only place they could count on finding so many like-minded people. And they would say, could you do this every week? And I was like, no, that sounds really difficult. But I kept hearing that over and over, and so that happened, and then people would come to the events who had never even done yoga before and ask me if they were allowed to come. I was like, yeah, totally. Like they've said, oh, well, I'm a Buddhist, or I'm really into Tai Chi, or I'm just really into consciousness stuff and spirituality, and I think that this crowd is my kind of crowd. Can I come? So I got a lot of that, and I started to realize it had nothing to do with the yoga at all. It had everything to do with the mindset and the value set of the people who were coming. And so around that time, I realized there was something there, and it wasn't just about events. The earliest, like, oh, we have something here, was we started charging early on in the business, which is a little, I'd say, controversial to do with a social app and a dating app at that, but we knew that our members cared about people being committed, and they care about quality, and we also didn't have a lot of funding. We were like, we got to prove we can make money. So we started charging early, and because we started charging, we were able to test different marketing channels and see if we could find something that was profitable. And if we found something profitable, we would just keep paying and marketing, right? And having a positive ROI. And so we ran our first test with a content partner of ours who we still advertise with today, called Elephant Journal, which is the largest content site for the mindfulness space, and they're based out of Boulder. They get a ton of traffic, and they're great partners. And so we tested this out, and this is like the fall of 2015, and I remember seeing the response to the ads and just seeing the numbers just go up, 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 up. Building our team. We have an amazing team, and they say as you scale up your team size that your culture can, it's either makes or breaks your culture. And there's a lot of talk about getting really, being worried about what happens to your culture when you add people to the team and you start getting bigger. I mean, we're like 25 people. We were 11 in January. So we more than doubled the team size in 8 months. Each person we keep adding makes the team stronger and the culture stronger. And we have so much fun here. And you can feel it. Like, you guys are in the office right now. It's comfortable, it's chill. People are self-expressed, and they work together and they collaborate really closely, and everyone is open and able to really be who they are. And I've never experienced that in a company before. And I didn't even know that what we have as a team is possible. And so that 100% is my favorite part. Like actually bringing on great people and then seeing what their unique abilities are, their zones of genius, and then just giving them more and more responsibilities in those areas and watching them rise up. That's been so freaking cool. We've been focused heavily on product and getting this new app out. And just to be clear, it replaced the old app. So it's not like Meet Mindful, something else is out there, but it just replaced the old experience. And so we spent so much time focusing on that and building something new and really polishing things off. And so what's next for us is just making sure that things are working as best as they can and getting the whole team rowing in the right direction after, having our focus split a couple directions, and really working on making that work as best as possible. And we also have some things in the works to begin to test some offline stuff, because what's happened in the past, you look back 5 years especially, 5 to 10 years so with social. I mean, we've been conditioned that everything needs to be online. All of our connections, all of our posts, all of our events, everything is happening online. And, we're in an age where we're more connected than ever, but we're less connected truly than ever. And loneliness and urban isolationism is at its all-time high. And so what can we do to get people out in the real world, in community, and connecting with each other in ways that are really enriching and fulfilling and fun? I think we've lost that along the way with the rise of social and, social media online, I guess I should say. And so we're going to be working on some things to hopefully solve that a little bit.